Tonight at 5, after a small plane crashes in a Wanakee neighborhood, residents there are sharing what they saw and heard.
Plus, we'll take a look at a day in the life of an official cheese taster at UW-Madison Center for Dairy Research.
And time is running out in the desperate search for that submersible that disappeared in the Atlantic with 5 people on board. More on underwater noises detected in the search zone. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Thanks for staying with us at 5 and welcome back, Eric. Good to have you back. You brought the heat back with you from South Carolina.
It is hot out there. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Julian Seawright out there on the weather patio, overdressed for that heat, Julian.
Yeah, that's right. So that's why I couldn't even wear my jacket, because it is definitely hot for us. And with it, we have that air quality advisory in effect due to the ozone, which is going to linger throughout the rest of this work week. And on top of it, we've been even dealing with some hazy conditions outside. We could start to see a bit more of that plume as we get into our Thursday night as well. So the haze isn't going anywhere, and neither is this heat, at least for the next couple of days. The good news is, though, it's blue skies, and it still feels like summer, because now it is officially the first day of it. With that, planning out the rest of the nights, just know it's not going to really start to get comfortable for us until we get into the later parts of this evening. Around 8 o'clock, we're still holding into the 80s, and since this is the longest day of the year, those temperatures really won't start to bow out just a bit until we get into around the 10 o'clock hour, and then start to formulate overnight into the temperatures, but we'll see around the lower 60s. Tonight is going to be mostly clear, though. Not looking for any issues or even really any changes, and that's pretty much been the theme of this week, and it's going to continue until we get into our Saturday nights. Here at the First Warn Weather Team, we've been tracking a system that could finally break not only this hot spell, but the dry spell that we've had over the last several weeks. We're looking for a potential rain that will be on and off throughout much of this weekend, but could be widespread, just enough for us here in southern Wisconsin to help us at least start to take a damper at some of that drought that we've been having, now linger into parts of Monday of next week. We'll talk more about how much rain we're going to be expecting and the timing in a few moments. Until then, send it over to you.
Julian, thank you. Developing now, police are investigating after a small plane crashed in a Wanakee neighborhood.
The crash happened around 1:30 this afternoon. Our Braden Ross was at the crash site and shares more details.
A lot of neighbors still standing around out here, shaken up by what happened, of course, as anyone would be. This plane just came down in the middle of this residential street here in Wanakee. So here's what we know so far. So at about 1:30, that's when emergency services first got this call, and they responded here to a plane down in this residential area. We know right now there are 2 people who sustained minor injuries. Both of them, we believe, are people that were in the plane. No one else was injured, but we know the people in the plane had minor injuries. They were taken off to the hospital, and they're getting worked on right now. We talked to a few neighbors about what they saw and what they heard. They told me it kind of sounded like a boom, sounded like a car crash. Most of them didn't actually see the plane come down. They just kind of heard a plane flying low and a big boom. So here's kind of what they told me.
And I was sitting in my truck, and all of a sudden I hear airplane really close, and it came down, and it almost hit my van, and it landed right here. And it hit my neighbor's car, and then the sign down there, and then it hit the minivan.
It just sounded like bangs. Like, it sounded like a car crash, so it sounded like real light, like you could tell something had hit something, but you would have never thought in a million years that it was a plane, like, crashing right here on your block into your car.
So the neighbors told me, when they heard that, they came out to check on the people who were in the plane. They told me the 2 people both actually got out and were walking around. They were conscious, they were talking. One had a gash on his forehead, one had a gash on his arm, but they were able to walk around, and they were able to keep them conscious until emergency services got here. But, the neighbors just telling me it's really shook them up. They say this is a neighborhood where kids are out playing often. They weren't today, luckily, because it's so hot out, and so, no one was injured outside of the 2 people that were in the plane, but could have been a lot worse, is what they tell me. So everyone here really still shaken up about what happened. Again, we'll keep you updated here on News 3 Now and on channel3000.com as we get more updates about, what happened here. But for now, in Wanakee, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
All right, Braden, thank you, and be the first to know as we learn more about this developing story by simply downloading our Channel 3000 News 3 Now app. You'll be alerted as soon as new information is released.
Also developing, fire crews are investigating a house fire in Verona. Crews were called to the home in the 200 block of Legion Street this afternoon. Flames could be seen coming from the roof of the home. No injuries were reported. At this time, it's unclear what started the fire. Firefighters say Legion Street Street will be closed for some time while crews investigate.
At the Capitol today, lawmakers debated an overhaul to how reading is taught in Wisconsin.
The Republican authors say it's a way to gain background as the state's reading scores continue to slip. Political reporter Will Keneally is live at the Capitol, and he joins us with the latest. Will?
Well, the goal of this legislation is to move away from what's called the 3 cueing approach. That's essentially teaches students to look for context clues around the word if they don't understand what a word means. And that's different from phonics, for example, which teaches students to sound out words more than looking for the context clues there. So under this bill, it would prohibit teaching that 3 cueing approach here in Wisconsin.
We're going to retrain the teachers because they were primarily taught the wrong way to teach reading when they were in college.
Legislators in Wisconsin are attributing falling reading scores in Wisconsin to how students are taught to read. A bill passing the Assembly today would create a new Office of Literacy within the State Department of Public Instruction and make teachers avoid using the 3 cueing approach, which they say fails students. The $50 million legislation would spend money to help retrain teachers and also provide literacy coaches to schools in Wisconsin that most need extra help.
We reached a place where we're in agreement with DPI on this. They're supposed to put out a statement that they support the bill now. So I think we really weren't that far apart in what we wanted. It was just more the wording, and we got that straightened out.
There was some debate over what to do with third graders who are falling behind. The bill asks the Department of Public Instruction to create guidance, but each school district would create their own policy over whether to hold third graders back. The governor's office says they are still reviewing the legislation and do not know whether he will support it.
There are so many good things in this bill that I wish I could vote for. I mean, the literacy screener, the professional development, the coaches, the curriculum updates. These are good provisions.
The bill passed with a few Democrats on board, but a majority of Dems wanted to see it go back to the committee process.
Mr. Speaker, that this is a bipartisan bill. It feels disingenuous at best, but quite frankly, it feels like orchestrated chaos to me.
So there were Democrats supporting this bill. Among them is Madison area Rep. Sheila Stubbs. So now Wisconsin Superintendent of Public Instructions released a statement after this vote saying in part that, quote, we have a significant amount of work ahead of us to help change student outcomes, but this reading package is a big step in the right direction. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Madison has joined a short list of cities that have made themselves a sanctuary for transgender people. The city council's unanimous vote last night comes after the Dane County Board of Supervisors approved a similar symbolic resolution last week. Madison's first trans elected official, Dina Nina Martinez Rutherford, says she is honored to live in a city that supports the trans community.
Symbols are important. We can see that in, crosses, in badges. They're symbols, but they mean a lot. So this is a meaningful first step.
Martinez Rutherford hopes other cities see the progress by Madison as a beacon to move forward. Both of these declarations come after the first transgender pride flag was raised in front of the Madison Municipal Building earlier this month.
Next week, the remains of a Wisconsin soldier killed in action during World War II will come home to their final resting place in Beloit. Army Private First Class Clinton Koloski died back in 1945 while his unit was on patrol in France. At that time, his body could not be recovered. But in the early 2000s, Koloski's identification tags were found by people searching that area with metal detectors. In 2020, the remains of an unknown soldier were exhumed from a cemetery in France and transported back to the U.S. for testing. They were later identified as Koloski's, and he'll be buried at Calvary Cemetery in Beloit next Friday with graveside services. Some good news for commuters in the Philadelphia area. Road crews have started working around the clock to rebuild a critical section of I-95 that collapsed after a fiery crash earlier this month. To fill the gap, engineers use something called recycled glass aggregate, rock-like material made from recycled bottles and jars. The highway will partially reopen this weekend much earlier than expected.
House Republicans claim the Department of Justice is operating under a two-tier system, one for Democrats and a much harsher one for Republicans. Skylar Henry explains.
Special Counsel John Durham told lawmakers the FBI acted too quickly, launching its probe of Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and possible ties to Russia.
The FBI was too willing to accept and use politically funded and uncorroborated opposition research, such as the Steele dossier.
Democrats say Durham spent almost 4 years and more than $6 million investigating the FBI with nothing to show for it.
You only filed 3 criminal cases. You only brought 2 cases to trial, correct?
Correct.
And you lost all the cases you brought to trial, correct?
Correct.
And the one conviction that you obtained, the defendant pleaded guilty to a single count and never went to trial, correct?
Correct.
But Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz accused Durham of tanking his own investigation.
I think that John Durham has been part of inoculating the deep state. I think he's in on it. I think he's part of the cover-up.
Most Republican lawmakers used the hearing to accuse President Biden of weaponizing the DOJ and FBI to attack his political opponents. They pointed to the plea deal for Hunter Biden. The president's son plans to plead guilty to 2 tax charges and will likely receive probation, versus the criminal case being brought against former President Trump for his handling of government records.
Now we have an indictment of a former president who's winning in every single poll by his opponent's Justice Department.
The White House denies those claims, saying the DOJ acts independently. And they also point out that the U.S. attorney prosecuting Hunter Biden was appointed by former President Trump. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, calling all cheese lovers, the UW-Madison Center for Dairy Research is on the hunt for a new part-time cheese taster.
Sounds like a pretty good gig, doesn't it? But before the whole state of Wisconsin applies, the big cheeses tell our Armand Rahman it's not all fun and games. Armand?
That's right, guys. They say it's not easy being cheesy. The position is officially called Descriptive Sensory Panelist. It's a paid part-time position with 3 months of paid training. Coordinators at the Center for Dairy Research at UW's new Babcock Hall say it's more than just tasting cheese and cheese products. Panelists also have to study and scale how it shreds, bakes, stretches, melts, and flows.
People don't realize how much work goes into the food industry as far as like quality control and research and development. Most people don't know that like professional tasting is a thing.
And panelists also work with butter fluid, milk, cheese powder, and flavorings, and occasionally even yogurt. And now the application period just closed hours ago, but CDR coordinators say they're always looking for occasional tasters and testers at Babcock Hall.
Darn it, Eric.
Too late. Resume's too late. Armand, thank you. And just ahead on News 3 Now at 5, Julian returns a complete look at your forecast.
Plus, the search in the Atlantic Ocean for a missing submersible grows more dire as the crew's oxygen level runs low. And then coming up tonight at 6, find out how local medical schools are getting board-certified OBGYNs nearly a year since Roe v. Wade was overturned.
Red numbers on Wall Street. The Dow Jones falls more than 102 points. The NASDAQ off 165. S&P 500 down 23. We'll be right back.
Don't miss Wisconsin's best deals this summer only at Ashley's multi-million-dollar clearance event. Everything must go. Save up to 84% store-wide, plus special interest financing for 72 months. Only at Ashley.
As trends change, your bathroom may start to look outdated, so give it a fresh, modern look with one call to Mad City Baths, Wisconsin's #1 remodeler. In as little as 1 day, get a new shower or walk-in tub, back with a lifetime warranty, and with Mad City's Price Lock Guarantee, lock your price in for 1 year. And now during Big Deal Day, save $1,000 on a new bath or shower. 0 down, 0 interest until 2026. Senior military discounts, and call during this program and receive a free $50 Walmart gift card with in-home estimate. Plus, the first 50 homeowners who call now will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of new bath or shower used for a condo, hotel stay, or a cruise. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
So, all of us are here to talk about trading. Right now at US Cellular, you can get a new phone without having to trade in your old one.
Trade you my PB&J for that phone.
No, kid, you don't have to trade. See? $1,200 off any phone at US Cellular. No trade-in needed.
You drive a hard bargain. Boom. Chocolate milk.
You don't have to trade.
I'll take the chocolate milk.
Okay.
Get $1,200 off any phone. No trade-in needed. US Cellular, built for us.
Keep your space feeling comfortable this summer with 11% off everything at Menards. Check out our great selection of air conditioners. From big to small, we carry it all. Like this Denali Air 6,000 BTU window conditioner. It's $149.96 after rebate. Breathe in fresh, clean air with Best Air air filters. They capture airborne allergens like dust, pollen, and mold spores, ensuring the best overall performance of your HVAC system. Right now, 4-inch pleated air filters are only $14.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Don't miss Wisconsin's best appliance deals this summer. Only at Furniture and Appliance Mart's multi-million-dollar clearance event. Everything must go. Save up to 84% off store-wide. Plus special interest financing for 72 months at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
It's not easy being cheesy. UW's Center for Dairy Research is looking for a paid part-time cheese taster. Find out if you have what it takes and what the job entails tonight.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team gets results.
We're taking action for you.
Nearly 700 cases closed, more than $500,000 recovered, and we're not finished yet. When you need help, call for action only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Right now, it's a race against time as search crews comb the sea for a submersible that went missing on Sunday. The vessel was taking passengers on a tour nearly 13,000 feet below the water to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. Chris Wynn has the latest.
The minutes melt away on search crews' potential to find people alive as oxygen runs short on board the missing Titan submersible.
The surface search is now approximately 2 times the size of Connecticut, and the subsurface search is up to 2.5 miles deep, exponentially expanding the size of the search area.
The longer it takes, the less likely that, a positive outcome will occur.
But all hope is not lost. Cutting through the darkness of the deep sea, consistent banging noises have been detected during the search.
We don't know the source of that noise, but we've shared that information with Navy experts to classify it. In the meantime, it's a target, it's a focus for us to look at. And so we've deployed the remote operated vehicles and the surface vessel, the Canadian Coast Guard surface vessel that has sonar capability in the vicinity.
You can't ignore the banging, and you don't have time to wait to analyze the sounds exactly. So you have to assume, I think, that they're human-made.
Until the sub is found, there's more questions than answers as to what happened. Right now, all experts can do is speculate.
Was there a problem with the porthole? Was it a problem with the pressure? Was it a problem with the valve? But if a submersible doesn't go back to the surface on itself, on its own, it's really that there is a deep problem.
In Boston, I'm Chris Wynn.
According to a 2018 court filing, a former OceanGate employee said he was fired about voicing concerns about the Titan, saying it posed potential danger to passengers. In documents filed in April, OceanGate said the vessel was capable of diving the depth to the Titanic site with, quote, a comfortable safety margin.
Today is officially the first day of summer, and experts predict much of the country is in for a scorching season. Parts of the South are under excessive heat warnings. According to the National Weather Service this week, several Texas cities broke new heat records. Officials there are also worried about a record-setting strain on the power grid. Experts predict above-average temperatures in most states this summer and broader records in the next 2 years as El Nino combines with climate change. Well, how long will the heat last around here? Julian C. right now with a look at our first warn forecast. Julian?
Well, luckily we're not in Texas, but we're still going to be dealing with that heat throughout the next couple of days. And on top of it, because it's been so warm and so hot, we are looking for our ozone to be a bit lowered. So we have an air quality advisory in effect until 11 p.m. going into our Friday. So you can expect that advisory to stick around for the rest of the work week. Though it has been hazy, it's not very potent smoke that's been really impacting us here in southern Wisconsin. But once we get into Friday, we are looking for another layer of it to really start to impact us once again. So it's going to be much worse once we get into Friday before it starts to get any kind of better. So taking a look at our air quality in itself, as of right now, it's just mainly unhealthy for some. So if you can, definitely limit your outdoors. And with the the heat on top of it, make sure you're also staying cool and finding ways to stay hydrated as well. So speaking about the heat, the next time we could probably break just even leaving the 90s once we get into this weekend is going to be Sunday, where we are anticipating for a system to bring in a bit cooler weather and finally some much needed rain for us here in southern Wisconsin. And then for next week, we're going to be holding into more seasonable weather. For us, around this time of year is typically around 80 degrees, 82 degrees. We're finally going to get back to that after being unseasonably warm or even hot over the last couple of weeks. Now, giving a visualization of what we have as of right now, going into this weekend, we're going to see that low pressure system start to dip that ridge, which has brought in that heat dome, which is impacting the southern parts of the United States, and especially for Texas, which has had those record-breaking high temperatures. And for us, it's finally going to give us a little bit of relief of what we've been having over those warm, hot temperatures, dry conditions as well, and finally potentially bringing in some rain for us. So the rain that we're talking about in itself, we're looking from late Saturday night into our early Sunday morning, but it's going to be widespread, but also very periodic. We're not looking for this to be very much of a downpour or even an all-day event, more or less on and off throughout much of our Sunday. But expect Sunday afternoon, evening, and night for it to be a bit more of a widespread event for us here in southern Wisconsin, but we could potentially see a bit more of a break again going in from a Sunday transitioning into our Monday as temperatures take a dive into some cooler conditions as well. Now, how much rain we're expecting, it really just depends on where that low is tracking. But as of right now, it's mainly going to be impacting the northern parts of Wisconsin. So for us as southern Wisconsin, we're not going to be seeing nearly as much as areas north of us, but a quarter to a half of an inch is very possible from this system. Otherwise, planning out our Thursday, we're going to see high temperatures near 90 degrees for Madison, and many of us could even see that 90-degree mark with plenty of sunshine, and again, even some hazy conditions are possible. So we have 87 for Janesville and about 86 degrees for Platteville. Quick look at our 10-day forecast. Temperatures, again, are going to stay hot as we head into the weekend. We're finally going to see some relief getting into next week. A quick look at our traffic before we wrap things up for us. Well, we're looking at the Beltline a bit on the slower side, but no real issues on the roadways as of right now. And that's going to do it for our weather and traffic. I'm going to go ahead and send it over to you.
All right, Julian, thank you. Coming up, with summer heating up, you can expect a rise in your utility costs. Share some tips to help you save after the break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Our Just a Handyman and that bathroom update could take weeks or months, but Mad City Baths installs in as little as 1 day. We take the stress out of bathroom remodeling with American-made baths and showers backed by a lifetime warranty.
Yeah, the whole bathroom is basically warranted for life. We don't have anything to worry about, so that was a huge selling point for us.
And now during Big Deal Day, save $1,000 on a new bath or shower. 0 down, 0 interest until 2026. Senior military discounts, and call during this program and receive a free $50 Walmart gift card with in-home estimate. Plus, the first 50 homeowners who call now will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of new bath or shower used for a condo, hotel stay, or even a cruise. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
Moderate to severe eczema still disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it disrupts my skin with itch. It disrupts my skin with rash. But now, I can disrupt eczema with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a steroid, topical, or injection. It's one pill once a day. Many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin, while some saw up to 100% clear skin. And they felt dramatic and fast itch relief, some as early as 2 days. That's Rinvoq Relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer. Death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
Don't wait until the weekend to enjoy a thick charbroiled steak made to your liking. Make a weeknight steak night at High Point Steakhouse, Southern Wisconsin's premier supper club. Well worth the short drive to Ridgeway.
Brothers Maine enjoys 4th of July festivities with family, friends, and fabulous kitchen and laundry deals. Our fireworks of savings on GE appliances and free delivery will make you ooh and ah. Feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Lean back and enjoy the summer savings at the Century House. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. The more you spend, the more you can save instantly. So furnish an entire room with the most comfortable seating in the world and watch the savings add up. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
As we mentioned earlier, several states are dealing with extreme heat.
And those warmer temperatures could mean higher utility bills this summer. Jen Sullivan shares some tips to help you keep costs down this season.
And then here, it goes up to 200.
Bracing for a hot summer with high utility bills as costs for water, electricity, and even gas tends to climb as the temperatures rise.
It's going to be a long summer. Now it's a matter of, will I have enough money for rent?
According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, average electricity prices expected to rise about 2% from last year. And while the latest consumer price index showed energy costs decline 3.6% in May, prices are still too high for some Americans.
I think of the people who are going to have to make choices between paying their electricity bill, paying for food, paying for medicine or health care.
Here are 5 tips to keep utility bills down this summer. Number 1, use your dishwasher instead of hand washing. While it does use electricity, it saves energy and water. The U.S. Department of Energy says that could save you thousands of gallons of water each year. Also, air dry the dishes to reduce your dishwasher's energy. Number 2, raise the thermostat and use a fan. Raising the temperature and using a fan can help you use less energy running your air conditioner. Number 3, switch to more efficient bulbs. LED bulbs use at least 75% less energy than incandescent lighting. Number 4, use cold water when you wash laundry. The Department of Energy says 90% of the electricity used to wash a load goes towards heating the water. Number 5, check the air ducts. Holes, clogs, and leaks can lower your HVAC's efficiency. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
We'll get a final check on your first warn forecast when we come back.
If you're stuck between choosing to spend on a vacation or finally updating your bathroom, with Mad City Baths, you can do both. We can take out that old high-sided tub and install a beautiful, easy-access shower customized with grab bars, handhelds, and a beautiful shower door. And now during Big Deal Days, save $1,000 on a new bath or shower. 0 down and 0 interest until 2026. Senior military discounts and last chance to call during this program and receive a free $50 Walmart gift card with in-home estimate. Plus, the first 50 homeowners who call now will receive a vacation voucher with purchase of new bath or shower used for a condo, hotel stay, or even a cruise. From Madison throughout South Central Wisconsin, call 608-729-4466. That's 608-729-4466.
This 4th, we're throwing a 4 for the 4th celebration with lots of top-rated 4s to shop, like 4 of my best-selling playgroup sectionals. Keep it fun and functional on my playbook, only $9.99. Or go with my highly rated Playscape for only $12.99. Don't forget my playroom, also $12.99. Stretch out in style on my 4-piece playground, only $24.99. With financing options to fit your budget. You guessed it, 4 plans to choose from. Join the 4 for the 4th celebration at Bob's. It's gonna be lit.
Attention, Wisconsin veterans.
I'm Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin. If you are a veteran struggling to pay for rent, utilities, or other life-sustaining services, I want you to know that the Veterans Rental Assistance Program is here to help. So call 833-WISC-VRAP or visit VRAPWI.com. You've always been there for us. We want you to know that we're here for you.
The Chevy RS family of SUVs has it all. Whether you want the 10.2-inch diagonal color touchscreen on the Chevy Blazer or extra peace of mind with Chevy Safety Assist standard on the 2023 Chevy family of SUVs. So take your pick. The choice is yours. Spring into adventure and get 1.9% financing on select popular Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. Plus, make no monthly payments for 90 days. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
There's nothing better than a great night's sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhafels. The new Tempur-Pedic Breeze is made with a one-of-a-kind cooling technology, pulling heat away from your body, keeping you up to 10 degrees cooler, allowing for a better night's sleep. Right now, Tempur-Pedic Queen mattresses start at only $96 per month. Plus, you get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Steinhafels, your mattress destination. Shop in-store or online.
We've got a lot of news coming up. Changes in the air at The Price is Right. We go behind the scenes as America's longest-running game show gets ready for a makeover. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Well, if you've been outside, it is hot, and Julian has the latest details.
Yeah, it's going to stay hot for a little while longer, but it's expected for, you know, the first day of summer. But getting into the three things to know, we're going to stay into those upper 80s and even 90 degrees throughout the rest of this weekend. It's also going to stay dry. However, Saturday nights, we could potentially start to see some changes, not just with the temperatures, but potentially seeing some rain and even some thunderstorms for the area, which is much needed for us here in southern Wisconsin. We could see that relief coming into our Sunday and potentially even for our Monday as well, as temperatures start to be a bit more temperate around this time of year. Upper 70s, low 80s, just around where we need to be. But nevertheless, until we get there, we're just going to have to buckle up and hold on to this ride.
You were just taking your son to college in South Carolina. It's
cooler
warmer
there.
here.
It is hotter here, no, at least for now. All right, we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News coming your way next. Stay tuned.